at all to the idea of putting cameras more in the field?
I think we've seen a lot of examples of why we need to bring a compassion to the community, an understanding to the community. I've not seen one piece of information that shows that you're 4 times more likely to be struck by lightning this year than you are to have force used against you by a law enforcement officer. That's what we need to see more of. Okay?
What would you say to people who want more transparency, though?
I love transparency. I think transparency is wonderful. That's why I communicate with the public every day. That's why we have complete, detailed reports on everything we do. I love transparency, and I'm all for it. And we've not seen we've not seen very much transparency. The transparency we haven't seen is the fact that law enforcement officers are standing in the gap between good and evil. We haven't seen the transparency like those Dallas police officers who ran in to protect those that were protesting and making their voices heard from that one nut that was trying to shoot them. That's the transparency we need.
A lot of local officers that they say they like that it shows that they do their job with integrity.
We need the national media and we need the local media to show what we're doing good every day, because that's the overwhelming thing that's occurring. I can show you bad reporters, bad lawyers, bad doctors, rare examples of any industry we have, but they don't make that the topic of the evening news. I am shocked that the national and local medias are not being responsible and informing the community as to what's really happening. For example, in my agency alone, use of force from interactions with law enforcement is 1/300% of 1%. You're 4 times more likely to get struck by lightning this year than have a use of force incident with the deputy in patrol. But when have we talked about that on the national media? When have we ever said that, look, there are a few bad police officers in this country that should have never been recruited into the business, never hired into the business. They obviously were not trained once they're in the business, and they need to be out of the business, and we all agree with that. There are a few police agencies that fail to stand up to the national standards. But we have 10 different accreditations at the Sheriff's Office in Polk County. Count them, not even 1, not even 2, but 10, to make sure that we deliver the best services and the best practices for our community.
That's more accreditations than you have cameras in your cars, though.
But I'm not talking about cameras in cars. I'm talking about doing what's right. Let me tell you this about cameras. The National Football League has cameras, don't they? And on the evening news, on the replays, they'll show 6, 7 different camera angles, right? And they can't decide whether the play was right or wrong. One camera angle does not necessarily tell the truth any more than it distorts, than the opportunities for it to distort the truth. What we need is professionalism by the news media to be responsible. We need you to put it in proper context, and you're not doing that.
I can't speak for the national media, but I think we're going to try to.
Well, I'm talking to the national media, but yes, our local media has always been responsible to us, and we've been responsible to them. But the reality of it is we need to tap this down. What we need to do is we need to reassure our community that we're there to protect them and to keep them safe. And that's what we do every day, and that's our commitment to them. We're not going to allow any of our police officers ever to abuse folks. That's a promise. If our police officers and deputies don't act within the guidelines, there's quick and sure accountability for their conduct. There also needs to be responsibility and accountability for that few people in the community that want to misbehave and hurt law enforcement officers. We need to see more of that. Show me that.
Appreciate your time, Sheriff.
All right, take care.
You too. Thank you.